up, you guys? Welcome to the Man Up Club Presents podcast. I'm your host, Lena, and we have a very special guest for you today. But before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about the Man Up Club, because I work for the Man Up Club, and why would I not know details of it, right? So I am the program coordinator. My job is to make sure that the young men that we serve are getting the resources that they need in the community to become successful. So the Man Up Club is a mentor leadership organization for young men between 13 and 24 years old. We focus on life skills, social skills, academic discipline, and civic responsibility. We are located in the Twin Cities. If you have a young man who would like to receive mentorship or likes music or fitness or even culinary arts, and they want to throw down a little something, reach out to us at themanupclub.org. Okay. Now, without further ado, our special guest is Florence Mayez, also known as Flo. Flo, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, Celena? How you doing?
I'm doing great now that you're here. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel great.
That's what's up.
I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm also gonna have our videographer Jake. He's gonna join in because Flo and Jake, they already know each other. Okay.
We go back.
I don't know how far back y'all go. How far back? Like
dang near coming up on 3 years.
Yeah, it's coming up on
Real
3
talk.
years.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course you guys want to know more about who Flo is. So Flo, just introduce yourself. Where are you from? You feel me? Like all that stuff.
Yeah, I am Minneapolis baby. I bounced around a lot growing up. So really no outplace, like I'll say stable foundation. But as of now I stay over in Golden Valley, New Hope area.
Okay.
Growing up it was just me and my mom. Yeah. What do you want to know specifically?
What do you do?
What do I do? I make music. I'm an artist, and I make anything that varies from hip hop, rap, melodic rap, emo, alternative. It don't matter. I'm
Creative.
Jack of all trades.
Okay, you know what they say about jacks of all trades.
Master of none.
Master. What you think about that? Like,
what do I think about it?
Yeah, like people, don't be a jack of all trades because you're master of none. What's wrong with this generation? They be doing every and anything, and it's like, when we was coming up, we was only focused on one thing. What's your thoughts about that?
I think times change, and so it's like you can't blame anyone for having to adapt, right? We live in a generation where you have to be multifaceted or multi-talented in a lot of areas. Mm-hmm. That's what we were talking about on the way in, like just talking about like how you can't just be an artist anymore. You have to be a content creator, or you gotta do something along those lines in order to get your art out. And so, yeah, I think within the music for me, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you should be diverse or versatile. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, obviously, you're going to have your go-to sound, right? Or go-to, but...
See, I got a question for you. Like,
yeah.
What's the most passionate moment in your life? Like, obviously, like, music is one passion.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, like, variables to it, being a content creator. But what do you find the most passionate? And I think I should ask.
What do I find the most passionate in life or in music?
In the career that you want to decide for yourself.
And life. I want to know both.
Yeah.
I would say my passion is really, really for music, right? So, but I have fallen in love, and this goes kind of that jack of all trades thing, is I've fallen in love with the engineering side of things, and like listening to a song and just figuring out how did they get it to sound that good. Mm-hmm. Because you can create a song, but if it's not mixed or mastered correctly, like a lot of those emotions or passions that you may have felt when you were recording that might get lost. And so it takes a special brain for someone to be able to take someone's emotions and like, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess really, I don't know.
Package it to
package it correctly so that people can actually listen to it and feel what the artist actually was trying to represent,
Yeah, speaking of emotions, let's talk about that, because obviously, like, music is more than just, something that sounds really good. It takes meaning from a person, you know what I'm saying? The reason why people feel so connected to artists and art is through experiences and emotions.
Yep.
Have you always been in tap with your emotions?
Yeah.
Really? You never had a hard time, like, expressing them?
I would say expressing them correctly. That's a different story. But growing up, like, I was just forced. Like, I was just raised by a single mom. Like, my mom was very emotional and unstable until I was 6. Like, she was not saved until I was 6. And so from that time, there was a lot of damage that had already been done, right? I was already in foster homes and had probably moved 10 times, lived in sober houses, lived in meth houses back in the day, all that type of stuff. Mom's getting raided, like things like that, you know? So I think I always had a whole lot of emotions that I dealt with or felt. And then music was just an outlet that came later in life to where it was like, oh, like I can actually like share this in a way, you know?
Yeah. What's your wow, that's a lot. First of all, hold on. Like
Dude,
hold
we
on.
love it.
Yeah,
We
that
love
is
that.
a lot for a kid to deal with.
Yeah. But there's also kids in Ukraine getting bombed,
True.
you know?
Yeah, it's all about
You know,
perspective.
We
And
always have to count our blessings for sure.
yeah, and on top of that, like kids are the most resilient. You know, because you grow up
Yeah.
and you kind of were you thinking that was normal? Or no?
I mean, I was 5 and 6, so honestly, I would say in my spirit, no. Like
Okay.
I think kids see through the veil. Like you know, like whether consciously or subconsciously, like something's not right. This isn't what things are supposed to be. Why do I feel this way? Why am I so angry? Why am I in therapy at 5? You know, like real things like that, where it's like I look back and I see why I am the way I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm sure I was pretty confused as a kid.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and that spoke through the way I acted and all sorts of stuff. So,
Where was your father?
father was dealing with his own stuff, and I can't ever shout out Pops. By the way, he might be watching. Nope, nobody watching. No.
But he might listen.
No, he will.
No,
I'm
he's on
gonna
live
make sure
right
he
now
listens.
on his live. But
No, I can never call him like I'll say like a deadbeat or anyone that never tried, but it's just a lot of those attempts early on just were like kind of failures, you know? And so growing up, like if you've ever experienced like parents splitting or anything like that, like you know that once you go visit dad, you're going to hear things about mom. And
And
once
once
you're
you-
back with mom, you're going to hear things about dad.
right.
So it was my entire childhood was just like full of confusion. And that's where I think I'm just so grateful for the music.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, yeah.
And
That's
that's
a
the
good
thing.
release.
Yeah, it is a very good release. And the thing is, a lot of young men don't have a good release. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it results to other things.
Yep.
And I'm sure that you know, I mean, and you're free to disagree, whatever, but in our community, when it comes to the Black community, especially with, you know, young Black kids, it's like the homes that they come from a lot of the times is broken. Like that's a
100%.
that's a normal thing. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? It's more apparent that I not apparent. It's more rare when I hear like a young man say, "Oh yeah, I grew up with both my parents in my home, and they had
Yeah.
their marriage was stable."
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So it's amazing that you can actually you know, stand here today in a different spot because of music. But how were you expressing like the negative feelings as a kid when you didn't have music? Like were there other outlets that you went to that were not so healthy?
Yeah, well, that's what I say is like my life is miraculous. Like all of our lives are miraculous, but just the way that God has decided to like place people in my life is truly just like something out of a movie. Like it just sometimes I'm just looking up, I'm like, why me? Because I feel like it puts pressure on me, but there's a reason, right? So when I was 9, my mentor Jason was introduced into my life, and he was a part. Not even. I'll tell the long story short, but he went to Bethlehem Baptist Church under John Piper, and after the service, John Piper was saying that there was a big brother, big sister club that anyone could feel free to join if they wanted to mentor young boys or young women, right? And he at this point he's in his 30s or something like that, mid 30s, 35. He had no thoughts of ever being a mentor, but he heard an audible voice say, "You need to go back to that table. There's a boy I want you to meet." And he said, "Okay, God, I'm going to do that." And so he gets up, he goes, he picks up a little piece of paper with a name on it, and he hears the voice, and he said, that's the boy I want you to meet. So he goes through classes, make sure, background check, all that type of stuff, whatever. And then he ends up meeting me, and he's my mentor at this point. And mentorships on average last anywhere from a year to 3 years. Like I think it's maybe last like 6 months to 3 years. And he's been in my life for 16 years.
Wow.
So that's one. Another one is who I call my father is Kyle. He actually had dated my mom a long time ago. And when they broke up, my mom was like, I think it'd be easier for, my real name is Trey, by the way.
Oh,
But
what?
I'm gonna say that Trey. It'd be easier for Trey if, you had no contact. And at this point, I'm probably, I don't even know, probably the same age, 9, 10. No, actually, I was young. No, I was probably 6 or something. And so he moves to Colorado, and I think he comes back to Minnesota. And my mom calls him. It's like 6 months later, and she's like, "Will you please come and see Trey? He will not stop asking for you." So I'm very young at this point, so no recollection. And he's like, "Well, of course." And she's like, "Well, you have to make me one promise. If you do visit him, that means you're his father, and you have to do everything that a father does." And he didn't hesitate, and he said yes. And so,
And this is the man that was dating your mom.
Mhm.
They split.
Mhm.
He left to Colorado.
Mhm.
She asked him to come back to be a father figure
because
for
I would
you?
not stop asking,
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
and he's still my father to this day.
Really?
No, I do want
Yeah,
to point
yeah.
out that
Yeah.
Wow.
I do want to point out that his name in my phone is Daddy Bars. Like he's got some bars.
'Cause I got the
He's
bars.
spitting,
Hey.
he's definitely spitting. But
Oh
no,
my-
to go off of what you said, like bro, like you said, you're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, and I had the experience just very recently where God literally came down to me. I
Mhm.
went into the bathroom just thinking I was gonna take a shower, but I left changed, and it was just like it was crazy. And the 3 things that he told me, if I can remember, and they're very important to me, is like I'm in the right place at the right time. Yeah, I really do that stuff. Like you're thinking about these third world countries, and you're thinking
Mhm.
about the people that are just really, really suffering in different ways, and the evil actions that people take on other people.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, you really do that. And like he just came down and he said those 2 things. The third thing is like at the end of the day, I need to trust and I need to be aware of the actions.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad that you are too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's crazy to think that, you know what I'm saying? It's not every day that like you could I'm just trying to put myself in your mom's position. You know what I'm saying? Like here's this man that I was dating, he moves away,
Yep.
but because my son is asking for him, he
Yeah.
comes back.
Yep.
So obviously mentorship and having that father figure, it's clear. It's just apparent and clear to see the impact that it can have.
Very much. That's why that's why I've always been happy to be a part of the Man Up Club in that
Mhm.
sense, because I know what you're doing. Like I know what you're doing,
You
right?
yeah, you see it for what it is.
Yeah. As long as it's, like God's plan for someone to be mentored and changed positively, that's the thing. It's like if I wouldn't have had those, I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you.
So here's the thing. A lot of people don't even know what mentorship really is. Like they have an idea, but like they don't know what it looks like. So, and obviously people mentor differently. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Like some people have a mentor, a financial mentor. Some people have like a personal life mentor. And we'll get into this a little bit more, but just like real quick snapshot, what can you say is the definition of a mentor for you?
A leader.
A leader.
Literally, like that's the one word. But I also just say like leading you in the correct way. So Jason is a Christian man. My father Kyle not, but he does have faith. But I got so many sides of different coins.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like what I'm very happy about. But they brought me into sports. Jason taught me how to hunt, how to open doors for women, all these things, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. We'll dive right into it. We'll be right back with the Man Up Club Presents podcast. We're back on the Man Up Club Presents podcast. We're talking to Florence Mayez. Now, okay, one of the things that you said about mentorship, key ingredient, leadership.
Yep.
You had both of these men, Kyle, and who was the other
Jason,
one?
my mentor, Jason. Yep.
Okay, Jason's still in your life.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So both of these guys, they taught you how to hunt.
Not Kyle, but they each had their own things. But I'll
Right.
say sports, just like manhood. Like I wouldn't have had a man in my life.
How to open doors for women.
Yeah, they start with the little things, and then it's like as you grow older, you're gonna have deeper subjects, right? Then it's about, okay, well, why are you doing these things? Especially as I started to get involved in street stuff and drugs and whatever it was, just like getting lost. Like these are people that I can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm an adult, so it's like now we're having real conversations.
With the experience that you've already had.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Just mentorship, it was not no easy sailing road. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies, like you said. So
No.
you started getting into some other stuff, even while you had those
Yeah.
men in your life.
Yeah.
So what caused you to get into the other stuff? I mean, obviously, like this is a kind of a rhetorical question because being young, you're curious about the world. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You're very easily influenced.
Mhm.
So what were those things that were influencing you?
And I think even to go on top of that question is like, what was the most beneficial experience that you had? Like the most,
Of going through those experiences, or okay,
just like over in general, or even just going through those experiences.
I'll say. So how did I get into them? 8th grade, I tried Adderall. Then I tried selling it.
Why?
Then I got expelled.
Okay, why? Why? Because when I was 8 years old, I didn't.
No,
I didn't
8th
have
grade. 8th grade.
So,
So
oh,
I
sorry,
was
Like
like
sorry.
12 years old.
14.
Okay.
I was like 14
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. Maybe,
What?
maybe, yeah.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It's like people grow up differently. When I look back on my childhood, it seems like I had no entryway into that. So
Yeah.
what were the things that were leading up to that? Why'd you try that?
Bad crowd. I will say there was an older lady, woman. She was like 2 grades above me, so she was like 10th or 11th grade. And I remember like she like walked me to their backpack one day, and she was like, "Smell this," and I was like, "Oh, it smells loud. It's weed. No profanity. Sorry." But that's what she had, and I was just curious then. And then she was like, "Here, take this, and you can keep the money." And it was, like 5 Adderall. And I'm over here in 8th grade, kind of like talk to my buddies in class, and then one of my buddies like goes in on it with me, and he gets caught, and he snitches on me, and then I didn't have anything on me, but they had enough evidence, I guess, to expel us both without bringing in the cops, which is very good because it would have been a bad thing. But that was like, I would say like when I first dabbled, and then it was like just all downhill from after that, because I was going to a Christian, I was going to Hope Academy, which I know a lot of people have heard about, but it's a Christian private school in South Minneapolis. And so I went there from K to 8th, and then it was like I was being, preached the gospel for 8 years.
Oh,
This is
wow.
after my mom was saved, right? And we can get deeper into that, but
Yes, we will.
yeah, so it's like all of that, and then it led to that. I got expelled, and then I went to a middle school in North Minneapolis called Olson Middle School. It's ghetto, and that's where it was like I was really like, oh, it's like not all kids are like Hope Academy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone's just a little different. And then I went to Armstrong High School, and that's when I really started to get deep into things. And it was just in and out of treatment, and it was just like just angry at the world, angry and like suicidal, just like all these, like I just wasn't
I even want to add on that real quick, not to cut you off,
fulfilled.
but I think it's like
Yeah.
when people get like, see, I've had, excuses to be angry at God. I've had excuses to be angry at things, but all of those don't actually matter. And like at the end of the day, it's like giving ourselves the time and walking with the Lord is something that I know that you do all the time. And it's a struggle for everybody, and people realize this, but I really do respect that about you, because like you actually like sit down and you think about the decisions that you make, the actions that are taken because of those decisions, and how you want to not only can you not do it by yourself, but the understanding that comes from that is just wildly apparent to me.
But
just
see,
for me.
Thanks.
and see, and that's him now. But before in it, you ain't thinking about all that. You ain't thinking about no consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like on like for real, like on the real, like what was making you so angry? Like what were you running from something? Like what were you trying to
Everything.
escape?
Yeah, and I feel like I still do. Like I'm not trying to come across as like I got it all figured out. I don't. But I do have the eyes to see what God has done.
We don't live long enough to figure it out.
Hmm?
We don't live long enough to figure it out, honestly.
Yeah, well, who knows? I don't know.
Well,
I pray God reveals something to me one day, because I feel like my entire life has been like identity. Like what is like my identity, and like I'm very sure of myself, and I'm confident, and in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of ways that I'm not. But I don't even know where I was going with that.
You know what? But when you said identity, like it just made me think. I think that people who grow up, and this could be part of it. It could be other things, but it's I definitely see as part of it. People who grow up without both parents side by side, consistently.
Yep.
You lose a sense of identity from the jump,
Mhm.
because when you're able to see, your father consistently beside you, and you get to watch his mannerisms and how he moves and, what he sounds like and what he's passionate about. And the same for your mom. You're like, oh, okay, that's where I come from.
Literally,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, okay, that's where I come from. Maybe I get this trait from, this person.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I think, do you agree that that has something to do with like this kind of struggle with identity?
Very much so. Yeah, and I think it struggles with the trust of God, like because He says He is our Father, right? So I think for a lot of people, and I'll speak for me personally, and it wasn't brought to my attention until like 3-4 years ago when I really started doing deep dives into the Word and everything like that, where it's like one of my I'll say like Christian mentors. His name's Justin Lockemacher. He runs a Christian sober house in Minnesota. It's called Redemption House. And he told me that the reason that I feel condemnation so often, or feel like God is angry, or feel like God is going to punish me or like just strike me down, is because that's how I felt during my childhood. Whether it be with my mom or my biological dad when I did see him. And so I think a lot of those like personal issues, like spirit issues, just come from trauma and not completely overcoming it.
Yeah, absolutely. How often did you see your dad?
Not often.
You can probably count on your fingers.
No, because I'll say more recently, like since 2020, I've probably seen him because he lived in Minnesota for a little bit. Probably saw him like 5-10 times within a 5-year period, something like that.
Was there anything that you learned about your dad out of the few times that you saw him? Was there anything that?
Yeah, I got a story.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a story. I hadn't seen him in like, I think it was like 6 years, and it was right before my overdose. And we'll get into that, right? But I was there, I was using, and he was using with me. Like we were.
You're a biological father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were using together. And I'm not saying this to make him look bad. This is 5 years ago. He has grown. He's done amazing things since.
Absolutely.
But just where we were at that present time, that is where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I got him. We got drunk. I'm secretly using Percocet. I'm secretly using Xanax in his bathroom, like all this stuff. And regardless, I start talking to him about these dreams that I had been having. And when I was 16, I mean, ever since I was a child, I just always had night terrors and some nightmares. And again, that's just trauma stuff, whatever. When I was 16, I started having sleep paralysis, and people want to call it astral projection or leaving your body, whatever it is. I didn't try to do it. Don't know how it happened, but
I can definitely relate on that because I have that every
it
once in a while.
happens.
Yeah.
And I remember experiencing those things. First time it happened, I ran out of my room. I bolted. Like I literally was like, it just was like a movie. Like I floated above my body, and I could see everything around me clear as day. And I all of a sudden was back in my body, and I was like, whoa, that wasn't real. And I just remember the fear and terror I felt. So I tell my mom, whatever. And then like 2 years later, this stuff continues to happen. But I'm with my dad, right? And I tell him, I'm like, I'm like, hey, can I tell you something? He's like, of course. So I tell him about these dreams that I've been having, and about these like demonic figures in my dreams and all sorts of stuff. It's just very demonic stuff. And he literally lifted up his arm, and he was like, look, and his hairs were standing up. And he was like, I got something to tell you.
Wow.
So ever since he was 16, those things happened to him.
What?
And so it's all things that just further my belief in the spiritual, because when they say the apple don't fall far from the tree, I didn't know the tree very
Apparently
well.
This one got ran over by a lawnmower.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
But we're experiencing things on a spiritual level. And I have little mannerisms that I do, like you said, or little like ways that I talk. And it's like all just from my dad. And I'm like, I don't even know him like that. But that's one thing I can say is like, he's just, the dreams we relate on. And that blew my mind, because it was just like, how does that travel in DNA or spiritually? Like, it just blew my mind. And that's when I just realized like this stuff is a lot deeper than people realize.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
really
amazing.
impactful.
I mean, and you could take the good and the bad though. Like it's I think it's beneficial for people to know the good and the bad of where they come from, because it just shows, the human side of of everything that you're from. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So yeah. I think it's time. Okay, let's take a little break real quick. It's time for a little man up minute. Okay. It's a little man up minute. One of the sayings in the Man Up Club is I know my value. Right? That has a lot to do with identity. How do you know your value today? What are some things that stay close to you when it comes to knowing your value?
That I'm here for a reason. Also, secondly, and this may seem shallow because I know there's gonna be a lot of real believers listening to where it's like, yeah, like, I should be able to say like Christ in that sense. But I will say like, I should rephrase the question one more time.
How do
if
you
you don't
know?
mind.
Yeah. How do you know that you know your value? How do you know your worth?
Yeah, that's what I say is like, it comes from music. And I know like biblically, that's not good. It's not like right. But God has given me a gift, something I'm good at. And so like, I'm just glad I have something. Some people got it's yo-yo. Some people can eat 300 hot dogs in one sitting. Some people just got talents. I don't know why they got it, but they got it. And I don't know where I would be without it, truly. But at the same time, God shows me over and over again that I have meaning. And it's not by anything that I do. It's literally just before the foundations of the earth, he foreknew you in your mother's womb. He knit you together, right? So that just says something about his character. Like he knows and he knew and will always know. So.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. We're back on the Men Up Club Presents podcast. Today we're presenting Flo. You already know he's been through a lot. Okay. No,
Big
seriously.
testimony.
No, you've been
that's
through a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
Like seriously. And I wanna one of the things that you had mentioned, because you mentioned so much, I need to go back and bring it back to light. You said that you overdosed.
Yeah.
When was this?
2021. March. I had taken I sniffed a quarter of a Percocet pill and woke up 6 days later. And when my friend found me, I had no pulse. So and they were able to even check. I did technically die from a heart attack. Like my heart did stop. Yeah. And then they froze my body. It sounds odd if you don't know, but if you do know, they will lower your body temp to preserve your like brain and organ function. So your body is literally freezing.
It's basically like freezing meat.
Yeah,
to
they
keep it
literally
longer.
like freeze. Like it's not like freezing, but they drop you down your temp like 8 degrees, 9 degrees, something like that, to where it's like it is like hypothermic. You're not supposed to be that low below 98. And so they do that, and then they give you something called a paralytic, because when you're cold, you shiver, right? They don't want you doing that. They don't want you to warm up. So they give you a paralytic, so you literally are just cold. And that was me for 5 days, 6 days. Yeah.
For 5 days. Okay, and then you had sent me the photo.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and show the photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I know.
So that was the first big incident that's happened.
No, that was the second. So that happened after the car crash. Remember, those are two separate events.
Okay, so what happened with the car crash? Because these people don't know what happened.
See, I'll be honest. When he came over and told me the first time, it really rocked me to my core, and it made me like really think about my life and the decisions that I make and everything. I remember us sitting downstairs in my basement.
I know.
And dude, that one was a crazy experience. So I can't wait for you to tell that.
I know. So the car crash. Trying to figure out what details I can go into, but I will say I was under the influence and fell asleep at the wheel and with my foot on the gas. So just based on the tire tracks and the car that I hit parked in the driveway and how far my car rolled from that car, they could estimate I was going about 70 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. So I went through 4 yards, popped the curb, smashed into a parked car in a driveway, and then rolled about 20 feet. And popped out without a scratch. And I remember waking up. I was upside down. If you look at the photo, you'll see
without a scratch.
No, not like nothing. I promise you, like no dirt under my fingernails, nothing.
And to me, that's crazy, bro. Like when you described that to me the first time, like,
wow.
Yeah.
What were you feeling right afterwards?
Dude. This is a two.
It's too real.
Near death life.
It's crazy.
Near death experiences,
Yeah.
2 near-death experiences.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
How
what
has
were
that
you feeling?
changed you? How has that changed you? Like,
well, I will say I do have PTSD. So that's a consequence. But overall, like, it is great to share it because it's a proof of like miracles, you know. But I do carry, I'll say it, like a weight. Like a lot of times, like I feel like, like, oh my gosh, these things happen to me. I have to do something. Like I have to do something great, or you know, I just put that weight and pressure on me when like literally it could just mean like that there's just a kid I'm supposed to meet at Walmart, and there's a message I'm supposed to give him, and that's my purpose in life. So sometimes I just struggle with the balance of like what is my purpose?
And what does it mean to be great, or what does it
Yeah.
mean to have an impact?
Literally, yeah, because we're having an impact right now. Like this today is an impact on my life. Now I'll carry this forever, and then I could walk out of here feeling good, and who knows who I run into out of here. So like that kind of goes into the like butterfly effect philosophy. Every action has a reaction, right? So like, I would definitely say it's changed me for the better in a lot of ways, because after the overdose, so for those who may have missed it, 5 months before I overdosed on Percocet, I had fell asleep on Xanax while driving. So you asked what that felt like. I popped out, and I woke up, and I woke up upside down, and I remember feeling like this weight like in my chest, and it was from the airbag. I didn't really know it at the time, but I unbuckled. I just crawled out and like army crawled, and there were 3 big black guys to the left of me. This is 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, and they're yelling, they're cursing at me. Pretty much just like, what in the world happened? The crash was so loud it woke them up, like woke up the neighborhood, everything. And you know, they're threatening to beat me up, like real talk, like this is what happened. And I kept telling them I don't know what happened, and they were like, "What do you mean you don't know what happened?" I'm like, I literally have no idea. I was driving and I just woke up. Like I fell asleep at the wheel. So anyways, EMS cops get there, and I remember the officer pulling up, and he said, "I know you're not drunk because I would have smelt it on you already." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not drunk."
Ooh.
And he was like,
Ooh.
"Okay, do you know how lucky you are to be alive?" And I was like, "Yeah," looking at my car. As much as I can remember being on Xanax, but I will tell you, I sobered up very fast. Like when that happened, like it was like I locked in. I was like, wow. But they didn't take my blood. That's another miraculous thing. They didn't take my blood. They didn't test for drugs. They didn't do anything. So really, God, again, let me off with that.
Did you hurt anybody else?
I had a passenger in my car. It was my cousin about an hour before, about 30 minutes to an hour before that. And we were driving around. So it's like it could have happened at any time. It could have happened on the highway, could have happened on the freeway, but it happened like 3 minutes from my crib.
So you're telling me that the way that this car looks, and like y'all looking at the photo, the way that the car looks, if it was 3 minutes before, he probably would have.
Oh, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that whole passenger side was crushed. So like looking back at it, I'm just like, he just spared me in more ways than like, yeah, my life, but he spared my cousin's life. He spared a whole lot of things, because I could have had a lot of things in that car that could have gotten me in trouble too, where it's like, for some reason, just things lined up, and it's like not by my doing.
I'm over here getting kind of cold chills, because like, yeah, he did spare you from a lot, because like you could be in a cell right now.
Real talk.
You could be in a cell right now.
Yeah.
You could, and please tell me if I'm giving you like PTSD or something. Like, let me.
No.
Yeah,
it don't come for like that.
Okay,
no.
okay.
It's like when I sleep.
Okay.
It's just like nothing I can control.
Okay, so like you could be in a cell right now. You could be dealing with the guilt and the demonic weight of killing someone
accidentally, but at the same time, like, you are guilty.
I'll be honest. Recently,
that's crazy.
That's wild. I mean, that's why I'm so excited that you're expressing it too, because like it hits every single time. And you know, I didn't hear all those details when you told me, but at the end of the day, bro, it's like when you're like in those moments. To me personally, I feel like I need to praise God. Yeah. And like it's just like it's so impactful, and I don't know always why I praise God. And obviously, I've been in those positions, like not comparative to yours, of course. But you know, trauma goes with one thing, but it's wild, dude. Like, I don't know why I always do like praise the Lord, but it really does happen, and I think that's a really big encouragement too. Like, you're coming out of that situation, like thinking, how did this go so right? And you didn't even have to like say anything or do anything, but it just happened to you.
Mhm.
That's why I praise the Lord.
What's crazy though is I didn't, even after that, I did not change one bit. Like,
and that's
like,
real too.
yeah, because it's like 5 months later, then I overdosed, and it's like,
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
you
of
know what I
course.
mean?
Right,
So
right.
that was a wake up call for most people, not me. And then it was like, here goes this, and you're literally dead. You know, how much closer can you get? And I came out of that, and that's when I'll say is like God really like just started to like work on me, work on my heart, work on the way I view Him, work on everything. Because I started going to Redemption House, and yeah, I remember I was just like so sad. Oh no, not sad. I was so grateful when I initially woke up. Right, I was like drugged out. Don't really remember the day or two that I was like still in the hospital. But I remember once I was actually aware and conscious, like I was telling the doctors, the nurses, everyone who was coming in, I was like, Jesus saved me. Like I didn't have a voice because I had a trach tube. So I literally was talking like this. Like I was like, Jesus saved me. Like this is a miracle. And they're like just looking at me, you know. But at that, I was so overjoyed. Like I literally could not believe it. But then when I ended up getting home, that's when life hit. And it's like the reality of everything. And I remember those 2 weeks, it was just rain. It was just raining. And it was like, I don't know. Like I like rain once in a while, but it was just raining. It was like the world was crying. Like it was like mourning. That's how it felt to me. And so I remember those 2 weeks, I was just so sad, just like so hurt. And I was like just contemplating because like where would I have gone? You know, like if I would have died, where would I have gone? I have no, you know? So these are things that I just think about.
That's deep, really. That's like as deep as you can really get.
Yeah, because I truly do believe in heaven and hell. Whether I'm doing wrong or right, like I know. And like I'm just very honest about that. And I tell my mom, I'm like, probably, you know, like God says, I think it's like Romans or something, but you know, nothing can separate us from the love of God. And we can end with that.
Yes, nothing. This is the Man Up Club Presents podcast, and you are listening to Holy Culture Radio. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? We're back on the Man Up Club Presents podcast, and we have heard a story. You know, your testimony's crazy, Flo. I have not heard anything like it, and this might sound weird to you, but it's like it's an honor. It's an honor getting to talk to you.
Thank
you know,
I
like,
feel the same way.
Yeah,
Genuinely,
that's
like
amazing.
I'm here, and I easily could not be. So
yeah, that's amazing.
You have a voice to share. That's very important.
Yes, you do, and it just wakes people up. You know, I hope that it wakes people up to the fact that, you know, life is never to be taken for granted, but you don't have to go through something like that to treat life like that, you know.
Yep.
But we do learn from our experiences. You know, obviously God knows the reason why you went through what you went through. Let me ask you this. If you had a choice to not go through those accidents and end up in the hospital, would you change it and never have? No, that was quick.
No, because
why? That's scary.
Because who would I be?
I see.
Like,
I agree with that.
Who
like,
would
for
I
real,
be? I don't know.
It's
like it wasn't.
It's the matter of fact, like being able to go through those, like you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy, and you wouldn't want to do it ever again. But it taught you the biggest lesson of your life.
Yeah.
And like, you know, going through those experiences and going through something very big in your life affects you in a certain way. But nobody should ever take that for granted. Nobody should ever let that go, because that does define who you are. Like you said, who would I be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does it define who you are?
Because I get to share things like this. Like literally, this affects people positively. Also, it's good for I would say personal growth, maturity, if you allow it to be, right? You say everyone can learn from the mistakes. You got to be able to learn though, and that's something I can struggle with, right? Like I'm not perfect. I've still made mistakes since then, but overall, those things are always in the back of my mind. I won't forget them. And yeah, as long as I'm walking correctly, then God is
He's got you
elevated, well, by my testimony. Like it shouldn't be, oh, Florence Mayez. No, it's like God did. Like truly, not to be on some
Very
DJ
true.
Khaled stuff, but like God did.
Yeah.
He did. Like
And
it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
You know,
and
like
you even expressing it right now, bro. It's like something personal for you to remember too. Is like, dude, this is the reason that it happened. Like this is
Yep.
one of just the many, many, many blessings that you have because of that experience.
I get to be on the radio.
Well, not even that. It's just like you have the position to be able to tell your story in a very calm manner and be able to articulate your words very well. And
Thank you.
that's very very encouraging to me personally, and encouraging to a lot of people.
Thank you.
I want to go back to this whole mental battle of, oh well, like I feel like since you went through that situation, it's like I feel like I have to do something so grand that the world will look at me and remember me for. And then it's like, well, maybe it is just a conversation I'm supposed to have with a kid at Walmart. Cause that's
Real talk.
no, cause that's real. So it's like, I can just only imagine like the weight and the pressure of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, dang, like, yeah, well, I really can't waste a day now. You know what I'm saying? Cause like for me, I'm a goal oriented person, a task based person. And so
Mhm.
like if I don't, get something done, I feel like I wasted a day, and then I'm
Yep.
like really hard on myself. And I didn't go through that experience. Um, but there are other experiences that I have that push me to do something.
Mhm.
And it is a balance between like, okay, do I even have the right to like do nothing?
Mm.
But then it's also like, well, it's okay though not to do anything, for a day and chill.
I know. I've slowly figured that out. Like,
Slowly.
yeah, Jake knows. Like, he met me probably I was probably like a year sober when I met you, like dang near. And at that point, it was, I just, I really was living like that. I was like, there's just, I don't have time to waste. Like I'm recording every day. And I got to a point where I was trying to shoot as often as this and mix this. And, I don't know, just like so caught up in everything that then it just turned into like burnout.
Mm.
And that's where the devil can creep in too. Is you're just a busybody, and you're just not, like really focused in the way you could be or should be. And so I would say like the past year and a half, like that's kind of what I felt is like, man, I'm just like doing too much. And a lot of times it didn't feel like it was leading anywhere. And so I've kind of taken a step back to breathe, and it doesn't mean that I don't record or anything, but I've got a vault from the 3 years that I was really just working.
Yeah, I'll be honest, this man has like 1,000 songs that he hasn't released, and I keep trying to remind him. For real, dude. I can't wait for the comments for this one, dude. You got to release some stuff.
I
dude.
know.
We're waiting
that's
for
what
it.
I'm on. Like I really like I was so productive in certain ways, but so unproductive in other ways, like releasing or marketing or whatever it is. So that when we were walking in, I was telling you like that is where I'm at now. Like I have the music,
Okay.
but how do I back up the music?
Oh, okay.
And that's all I got to figure out.
Okay.
You know?
What? Yeah, absolutely. What's interesting to me though is like you're saying that there was this period in time where you were cranking out stuff and you were grinding, and you said you was recording every day because you had just got back from that accident, back to life from that accident, so you were really on top of that. But then even in that, you found I don't know, it's like you found discontentment in that. And that's interesting to me personally because that's the point that I'm trying to get myself to.
Is that
like,
yeah,
okay, I'm producing every day.
grind,
Okay, I'm
grind,
recording every day.
grind.
Okay, I'm doing this every day.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, so you're saying you've been there, done that. And obviously everybody has their own experiences, but like you're saying that in your experience you've been there, done that. But because you didn't have that balance of rest.
Yep.
And that balance of reflection.
Yep.
You were you burnt out.
Yep.
And it probably felt like you were drowning and that it was too much.
Yep.
And you said it felt like you were working towards nothing? Like,
not necessarily that. It just felt like a lot of the steps I was taking, and I'm sure this is just how it feels for anyone upcoming. It's like a lot of times you feel like you take a step forward and 2 steps back, or you feel like you're working really hard towards something and it's not being reciprocated the thought you the way you thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all just comes down to like, do you believe in the art? You know, like, because yeah, it's like a lot of people who have made it, you know, at some point they were no one, right?
And yeah, quotation marks.
Yeah. But they became quote unquote someone
yeah,
by putting in work and by not quitting, even when it felt hard or when it felt like they weren't moving forward or anything. So I keep those thoughts too, because it's like, I'm never going to quit. Like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I truly don't see how something couldn't come of this. I just don't know what that something is.
Mm. What are some there's a young man listening here, you know, what are some words of encouragement for him?
Honestly, ooh, that's rough. Not rough, but I don't want it to sound cliche or anything like that, but honestly, I would say stick with the right people. Like, genuinely. Like, bad company corrupts good morals. Real talk.
That's real. Bad company corrupts good morals. Yes. And if you guys, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being on the Man Up Club podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are a young man and you would like to have that positive brotherhood, you know, be around people who are also trying to become successful, even through the ugliness and the negativity of the struggle, definitely reach out to us at the Man Up Club. Okay. themanupclub.org. We will be back for another episode. We come out every Thursday on Holy Culture Radio. Thank you so much, Flo, for having us.
Thank you. And thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on here. Appreciate you.